That's what it is. You cut your hair.
Oh, it's always been like this. Oh, well, sometimes it's a little fuzzier.
Yeah, I think
But
I want to call it fuzzy.
no, it's no. I actually cut my own hair.
What is it?
I have a thing called a floby. A floby. They advertise it on TV. And you attach it to your vacuum cleaner. I don't know. It's so people are kind of. Good morning. Do we want to get settled? And oh, that was big noise. Oh, it's almost. Well, keep tuning.
I'm not stopping. Suddenly everybody got polite.
Well, they're still sitting down. Thank you, Kat. That was lovely. I always like to give it a good whack. Good morning and welcome to the Vashon Island Unitarian Universalists. Our theme for today is overcoming the complexities of racial trauma in Black communities. Our speakers are Ms. Michelle Montgomery and Mr. Ken Sinclair. Our musician is Kat Eggleston, and our tech is Spencer Prophet. This is from the program group Social Justice, and the coordinator is our Tanya Roberts, and the theme for April is interdependence. My name is Mary DeMange, and I use she, her pronouns, and I will be your service leader today. If you're visiting, please participate as you feel comfortable. You're invited to stay and introduce yourself in conversation following the service. Our congregation is committed to individual freedom of belief, welcomes diversity, and seeks to promote a sense of community and fosters religion which enriches the spirit. We are a mostly lay-led community, strengthened and enriched by weaving together the volunteer contributions of members and friends. Our community is supported and guided by our minister, Reverend Victoria Poling. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional homelands of the Swabash coastal Salish Native people. The Puyallup people have lived on and stewarded these lands since the beginning of time and continue to do so today. We recognize this land acknowledgement is one small step toward the true allyship and commit to uplifting the voices, experiences, and histories of the indigenous people of this land and beyond. As we begin our service, please take a couple of breaths to become fully present. Relax and bring your attention into this moment of communal reflection and sharing. Now, if you would, please repeat after me. It is good.
It is good.
It is good to be.
It is good to be.
It is good to be here together.
It is good to be here together.
We are here to make love visible in all we say and do.
We are here to make love in all we say and do.
I'd like to invite Robbie Rohr to light our chalice and share our chalice lighting reading.
Good morning. Our reading this morning to start the day is by Lynn Harrison. Committed to respond to the call of a wounded world, we join together this day with loving hearts, hands, and minds. Embracing the interconnected web of water, air, and earth, we light a fire of sustaining hope, ever bright with love and justice. May we bring forth this day new wisdom, strength, and courage to create a new world, not of wealth, but well-being, a world of new peace and abundance for all. As we give thanks for this earth, our shared and singular home, may we dedicate ourselves to its ongoing care. Rising to the calls deep within us and all around us, may we respond today and always with courage and with love.
Thank you, Robbie. Our opening reading is Ted Claybaugh. That's you, Ted.
Thanks, Mary. Sometimes I wonder. On a beautiful day like this, it's sometimes difficult to inject topics that are difficult, especially for us who are white, but it will resonate with those of us here from community passageways who have to live with this every day. And this first reading is called Buried in the Bitter Waters, The Hidden History of Racial Cleansing in America by Elliot Jaspin. Leave now or die. Those words are ones just as ominous, have echoed through the past 100 years of American history, heralding a very unnatural disaster, a wave of racial cleansing that wiped out or drove away black populations from counties across the nation. While we have long known about horrific episodes of lynching in the South, this story of racial cleansing has remained almost entirely unknown. These expulsions, always swift and often violent, were extraordinarily widespread in the period between Reconstruction and the Depression era. In the heart of the Midwest and the Deep South, whites rose up in rage, fear, and resentment to lash out at local blacks. They burned and killed indiscriminately, sweeping entire counties clear of blacks to make them racially pure. Many of these counties remain virtually all white to this day. And Buried in the Bitter Waters, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Elliot Jaspin exposes a deeply shameful chapter in the nation's history, and one that continues to shape the geography of race in America today.
And Tanya is going to introduce the first song.
Hi. It's on, right? Yeah. This college was established just after the Civil War, and they had a group of Jubilee singers that they sent out to sing in the United States. And we're going to sing some of the spirituals that they sung. This was such time that the slave songs, which we now call spirituals, were first introduced to the United States. The ones that we're going to sing today start with hymn number 97 in our hymnal. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Kate is going to sing it once, and then we can join it in.
Please stay seated during the song, all the songs really, if that's okay. Is that okay? Okay. Page 97.
I think if whenever you feel so moved to join in, please do. I think that will work. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long way from home. A long way from home. Sometimes I feel like I have no friend. Sometimes I feel like I have no friend. Sometimes I feel like I have no friend. A long way from home. A long way from home. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. A long way from home. A long way from home.
I'd like to now introduce our first speaker, Ms. Michelle Montgomery. Michelle Antoinette Montgomery, pronouns she, her, is a transplant to Seattle, Washington, having moved to Renton, Washington in September of 2019. Shortly after her arrival, Michelle discovered that her plans for her living arrangements did not coincide with her core values, and she made the decision to make a sharp pivot, which some did not understand, and chose to rely on her intuition and inner guidance system to reside in a safe place, in, of all places, a tiny house village for the homeless. Born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, Michelle graduated from the alma mater of her parents, historically black college and university, Tennessee State University in Nashville, Tennessee, where she received a BS degree in communications. Due to the COVID-19 epidemic, Michelle's stay at the Lehigh Georgetown Tiny House Village was extended to 2 years. During that time, Michelle found herself living with the very populations that she served for more than 20 years in Memphis and the tri-state area of Tennessee, Arkansas, and Mississippi. She was shocked to discover that administration and staff encouraged residents to use the language of victimhood during general conversations and meetings, thus discouraging any ideas of becoming an overcomer. Michelle refused. While facing a bout of depression beyond anything previously experienced, Michelle received through meditation and prayer that her purpose of being at the homeless camp was for far more than shelter. Her residency there was designed to be a training boot camp of sorts in her new home, where she could continue her work in social services as more than just an advocate, but as a survivor who sees people first for who they inherently are, and that some may have forgotten. She would like all beings to remember who we are, light. Raised in the Baptist Church and a current active member of Open Heart Spiritual Center, she considers it an honor to have been guided to work for and with Community Passageways, knowing fully well that such an opportunity in Seattle and the Pacific Northwest is rare. The last member of her immediate family, with no present ties to extended family members, she chooses to create her own family and stays in connection with her ancestors and roots by volunteering in the community, journaling, meditating, and performing spoken word freestyle poetry. Michelle's favorite things are giggling. I like that. Her pup, Lucy Pearl, reading, film, and attending theatrical performances and live concerts of varying styles of music. She wishes upon stars that her knees will last another 40 years as she enjoys spinning around the dance floor. Lastly, Michelle's favorite quote is, "Starve the ego and feed the soul." Miss Montgomery.
And thank you so much for asking me to sit up front. When I go places, it's something about being in the midst of the people that you're supposed to be with, right? And so when I was about to walk outside, and someone asked, "Oh," and I said, "We probably have about 5 or 6 minutes." And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go outside and talk to myself." And then I thought, I was like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't have told them."
Well, actually, we have people on.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're actually standing at
If you don't mind if I walk around, is that okay?
Go wherever you want. There you go.
So I was asked, are you going to go out, I'm going to go outside and talk to myself, and I thought, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have told her that. Because not everyone understands those of us who enjoy talking to ourselves. What I was actually doing outside was, I was calling in my folk. I was calling in my ancestors. When people think of ancestors, they think of people from hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. True, very much. But when I went outside, I was talking to my granny Luanna May. I said, look at these flowers. Look at the flowers. I was talking to my mother. I was talking to my sister. I was talking to my stepfather. I was talking to my daddy, Sam. And I was telling them, thank you. Thank you. Because all of the lessons that they taught me brought me here. Like every single one. So, let me introduce myself. I am Michelle Antoinette Montgomery. My name is long and strong like my lineage, from fields of cotton to the realization of dreams, overcoming bigotry, ignorance, miseducation, and years of pain. And yet it is as sweet as the blood that once dripped from lynching trees and that now runneth into my cup. So come on, y'all, take a sip, take a drink. You may be surprised at what you taste. For sometimes the drink, me, that is bitter to the taste, can be so very sweet in the end. I am a believer of God sending messages. When you were reading my bio, I thought to myself, oh my Lord, what have you done? I was actually in bed one morning on my cell phone, my work cell phone, and I looked at my emails and they said, oh, you have to send a bio. I said, oh Lord, what am I going to write? And so I took my phone out and I just started typing. And then I pushed send. Yeah. And then I thought, you need to go back and see what you said, Ken. Because you don't want to embarrass your coworker. He knows me, but he's never known me in this way. And I said, Lord, I hope these people don't let me go. When you get a new job, you think, I hope they don't let me go. I hope they don't fire me because I'm not from here. But when I read it, I said, you know what? I was in my zone. And I was just telling people who I am. And then we got all of the information about today's service. And I said, well, Lord, follow the drinking gourd? That's my song. That's my song. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. My mother's gone. So I felt that way. Being raised in the South, And then coming to Seattle was a culture shock. It was a culture shock beyond anything that I could have even imagined. All right? Living in a homeless camp, that was a pivot. That was a pivot that I chose, and I would ask myself over and over again, why did you choose to be here? And until I actually got quiet, and I mean very quiet, and I started listening for the voices of my people, and they would come to me. My first night, my grandmother came to me, and she sat down with me in what I thought was supposed to be a little cabin, but it was a shed. And I had to use the bathroom so bad. I didn't know what I was going to do. And then all of a sudden, Luana Mae was sitting next to me. She said, now you remember we had an outhouse when you were younger? My grandmother had an outhouse. I lived in the suburbs. We always had upstairs, downstairs, toilet, everything that we needed. But she had an outhouse. And they had to convince her to get indoor plumbing. She wanted that outhouse because she said, now you know my man, she was married about 3 or 4 times. He built this house for me. And he made sure that that outhouse was there for me. So she cherished it. But she was the one who walked with me through the Georgetown tiny house village to get to, of all things, called a honey bucket, which was not like honey at all. You know what I mean? So she was there for me. So I called in my ancestors. I called in my mother and my father. You know, I also knew that this was meant because the songs that you chose, I said, are they celebrating my people? I'm not from Fisk University. I'm from right down the street. Literally, Tennessee State University. I can walk to Fisk University. I've been there many, many times. I've taken kids there for all kinds of programs. We did tours and everything else. And the Jubilee Singers, they were the ones who actually showed the world who we are as a people and what those spirituals actually meant. I often wonder, the song we're going to sing next is called Wade in the Water. And I remember my grandmother, she would listen to blues music, gospel music, but when it came to Wade in the Water, she said, do you know what that is? And I said, well, you know, Harriet Tubman and everybody had to wade through the water. She said, no, that's not what that is. She said, yeah, the water took the scent off the dogs that were chasing them. But all of that trouble was in the water. So when you sing the song, you know what it is. You know what it means. Follow the drinking gourd. You know, I go to Open Heart Spiritual Center, and I'm very familiar with the Unitarian Church. I said, oh, Unitarians, these are my people. We accept everyone. So then I knew that it was meant. You understand? And sometimes when I tell people about my own spirituality, and people will ask, well, if you are a Christian, then you don't believe in, why do you listen to your horoscope? Why do you believe this? Why do you believe that? Oh, Michelle, you're just doing this all wrong. Da, da, da. And I said, well, are you crazy? And then I had to remember, people sometimes forget that when they talk about even the Christ child, right? And how they found the Christ child, honey, that was through constellations. Those were through seekers and seers and scientists of that time. Constellations, the drinking gourd, freedom, all of it is connected. Every single thing is connected. Also, when I came in, and yes, I do talk about things in little conversations that I have. Someone said, now you must remember, we're all just little old white folks and we're all together. And I said, no. There's some folks who happen to be Caucasian, who happen to be white. Who knows what I was in my last life? I might have been Asian. I might have been Caucasian. I might have been Mongolian. Who knows? I was raised by my parents to understand that the first time that someone called me the N-word in elementary school, in the first grade, that I was supposed to feel sorry for Sloan. That was his name. And my mama and my daddy left work, and they were teachers, to come to school and to talk to me and Sloan and his parents. Now, at a certain point, my daddy got really upset. He was a basketball coach. He was tall and strong. Sloane's daddy didn't have common sense and didn't realize who he'd met. And so he said, well, you know, my son can call her anything that he wants to. And all I remember is that they asked for me to leave the office so that they could have a conversation. But I do remember this. Sloane's daddy never knew that Sloane and I became friends. He never knew. His mother knew. When I had my birthday party, my parents made sure to invite Sloane. I was shocked. Why would we invite him? She said, we have to invite Sloane so that he can see who you are. That's how they raised me. I've always known who I am. I'm here to talk about trauma. How you get through trauma. You get through trauma by listening, by receiving, by connecting with the people who were there in past and people who are here in the present. My time at the Georgetown Tiny House Village was pure D hell. I'm not gonna lie. I saw people do things that I never would have imagined that they would do in my presence. But they did. And at one point I became so angered with people that all of a sudden that anger started to come and get inside of me. And I didn't realize it. There weren't a lot of mirrors at the Tiny House Village. There was a shower, not really a mirror. So I hadn't really seen myself instead of in my own compact mirror, and that wasn't enough. Eventually, as time went on, I was given a voucher of some sort to go to Goodwill. And when I went, I walked past a mirror, and I saw myself. I gained weight like everybody else during the pandemic. But I looked at myself. Who is that? Who are you? I didn't even look like myself. I didn't look like myself. So that night when I went to sleep, and then when I woke up, because I asked for my ancestors to come to me in my sleep and to tell me what to do. When I woke up in the morning, while I was out and I had those vouchers, I wasn't a girl who gets vouchers to go to secondhand stores. I was the woman who wrote checks for other people. So that was a spiral for me. But I purchased some markers and some personal paint. And I started writing on the wall, and I have pictures on an old phone. Eat watermelon. It's like, where did that come from? Yeah. Eat watermelon. And then I heard and saw my grandmother. Watermelon cleanses your system. Africans brought over watermelon and ate it during the times that they were doing all of the work in the fields with the food that they were given, because they knew that watermelon would cleanse their systems. So you come from a very strong and intelligent line of people. That was one. Remember that when you touch this doorknob, I put it over my door, that when you walk outside, you get to see what you want to. You get to see what you want to see. So while I would walk outside and I would see people doing things, whew, Lord. But I also noticed wildflowers. There would be a squirrel. I would see someone sitting in a corner, maybe writing something on the back of a receipt, and I would ask them, what did you just write down? Oh, I had this thought of this poem. Oh, you write poetry? My conversations became different. You heal trauma if you look through things with an essence of love. I listen to music. I love me some good music. One day, or today, I'll tell you about how I met Loretta Lynn and how she recognized me at a concert. We'll talk about that. Yeah, she said, Shale, is that you? I was like, it's Loretta! I was so excited. But when I listen to music, music is healing for me. And so very often I'm worried about the young people in our communities because someone has decided to feed to them music that they think they should be listening to. The beats sound good, but the words don't coincide with what you want to do when you hear it. You want to dance and move your bodies in a very good, loving, fun, sometimes sexual, and sexual can be fun, and productive way. But it's the lyrics. It's the thoughts that you think. How do you heal trauma? For me, every single day coming from the South and then coming to Seattle and walking down the street and not seeing anyone who looks like me, I never once bought into, nor will I ever buy into, the Seattle freeze. I don't believe in it. It's frozen here. People don't like each other. I get on the light rail, the bus, my Lyft, wherever. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. And before I worked at Community Passageways, I would take 2 buses to get to a job in doing social services, what I've always done. And the place was called Atlantic Street Center. And I can't remember the exact street that I would get off to catch my second bus, but there was always this group of elderly ladies who were Asian. And they would see me every morning, rain, cold, whatever. Good morning, they'd look. Good morning, they'd look. 3 or 4 months later, I got onto the bus. Good morning. And the lady moved over to the side, and she patted the seat next to her. And she reached into her bag, and she gave me a line. And when she did it, I knew that my time in the freeze was broken. And I'm a crybaby. My coworkers know I'll cry on you in the drop of a dime. But I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm sad. But that lime, y'all, that lime almost went really bad in my house. I took pictures of the lime. I told my friends about the lime. You know, that lime meant so much to me, you have no idea. I put that lime in a very nice cocktail, I'm just going to be honest. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. But that let me know that nothing is allowed to freeze me out unless I choose to. So if anyone here, you need to remember that black people are not a monolith. We don't all have the same experiences as society we want you to believe, you know? And our story of overcoming is the same story of how so many Jews overcame during the Second World War. We have an overcoming, and we're just people. So, thank you for your time. And before I leave, one of my favorite poems, not written by me. I was a group member of an organization by a man called Thomas Edward Pogue. And he said, I think I love and cherish all arts as equal. Only my own do I put above the rest, because in it I find a union and a culmination of all arts. You see, it seems to me that when God conceived the world, that was poetry. He designed and colored it, and that was painting. And then crowning all, he peopled it with living beings of different colors. And that was the beginning of the grand, divine, eternal drama, Life, by Thomas Edward Pogue. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Oh, goodness. Thank you so much, Michelle. Kat is going to play hymn number 210, Wade in the Water.
I hope we all get into it now.
Yeah, I think we will.
Oh, man. I'm so happy.
I know.
Thank you. Damn, yeah. something like this. Do you sing, Michelle? I'm just like this a little further. Thank God I lived in Chicago for 20 years. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in white, on people above the water. The leader looks like an Israelite. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in red. God's gonna trouble the water. It looks like the band that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
Okay. Now I'd like to introduce our second speaker, Mr. Kenneth Sinclair Sr. He is a child of God first and foremost. Date of birth, February 26, 1973. Make a note of that to send him a card. Longtime resident of Washington State by way of Knowlton, Louisiana. He is the oldest of 4 siblings, 1 younger brother and 3 younger sisters, all of Washington State. Raised by his grandmother until his mother was released from prison in the late 80s for ending a person's life via gun violence. Birth father passed away in state prison before his first birthday. In and out of the juvenile court system for most of his youth. Convicted felon as an adult, 1994. Self-educated, got his GED. Released from prison, 2003. Never returned to prison, praise God. He has worked with Community Passageways for just over 3 years. He is currently Community Passageways Regional Case Manager for SCSI RPKC. He is a youth, young adult mentor. He's a certified violence intervention specialist, a public speaker, just to name a few of his talents. And he's also newly the Director of Operation at D&D Construction and Hauling, LLC. Mr. Ken Sinclair. Do you want to take this mic, or you want to come up here? What would you like? Whatever you want. Up to you. There you go. Whoop. You're going to...
Hello? Yeah. I think I need to dance. Hello? I'd rather use this one.
Which one?
This one.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, Jesus. Thank you. Okay. Whoa. Michelle, that was pretty deep. We're talking about trauma. Let me share a little story with you about my sister. Like 2 years ago, my sister's son, which is my oldest nephew, was killed in the CHOP, the little protesting thing that they made over there. And I'm the oldest of 4, so she kind of really relied on me to kind of support her through her trauma. But she had an issue. She couldn't speak through the trauma. So no one was hearing her. No one could hear her pain. They could only see. So my message was, her name was Donita. My message was to Donita was, no one's hearing you because you're not speaking through love. So my thing with trauma is, when you know you're starting to heal, you speak through love. You see through love. You kind of navigate your life through love. So, for me, personally, living with trauma is seeing everything through love in a different light. Everything that I went through in my life, I believe, was preparing me for this moment and moving forward. So, the point of that is, I always say this, as human beings, we all kind of like have a moral responsibility to take care of each other, to care for each other, to preserve life. If we can kind of channel some of the challenges that we have in life, and if we can kind of channel that through love, then it makes it easier. It makes it easier for us to, black people, well, I can't really speak for white people, but it makes it easier for black people to navigate through life if we can see everything in a light and not in a gray kind of, it's a light. I see everything in a light. For instance, when I was coming here, traveling on the ferry, it gave me a chance to reflect. Like really reflect. I'm so proud of me. No, you guys don't understand. I'm so proud of me. I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be sharing this. And I'm supposed to be telling each and every one of you that God loves you. I don't know where that came from. It just came over me, and I'm supposed to share with each and every one of you that God loves you, and to be kind to each other and to be kind to strangers. So I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I just speak from the heart. Whenever I try to write anything down, it never comes out like that. Never works like that. So, funny story. Maybe 3 years ago, our Seattle City Safety Initiative proposal, I was the one, the company CEO asked to give a testimony for the $4 million. That was a lot to me. I have $4. Well, how do I ask the city for $4 million? And I wrote this big old long thing down. And Dom's like, you can't say all that. You got 20 seconds. I'm like, 20 seconds to ask for $4 million? Not even 25? Just 20 seconds. So I wrote this long testimony, which I had to edit to this much. And the reason he asked me to do it is because he wanted me to get my feet wet. That's what he said. I want you to get your feet wet. But after I testified, I wasn't comfortable with what I said. And he said, Ken, I know why. He said, because you wrote it down. You didn't speak from your heart. He said, it's kind of what I'm paying you for. I don't want you to try to talk like them. I don't want you to try to walk like them. I don't want you to try to be them. I want you to be your authentic self. That's your value. That's what you bring to this company. So my point is, I'm kind of apologizing, but kind of not. Because usually people come when they got all this stuff and they lay it out and they're reading from their phone. I don't do that. I just speak from my heart. And one thing I would like to say about trauma, you have to have a conscious effort every day to be humble, to be kind, to be a child of God. Like, you literally have to consciously tell yourself this every day, that I am kind, that I care for people. And that's how it works for me. I can't speak for everybody, but where I'm at in my life now, I think I beat trauma. I don't know if it's possible, but I really think I have. I'm like a happy person. Like, really a happy person. Don't be fooled. I'm super excited inside. And I say that because I do a lot of jail visits, and it's so sad. It's so sad when I don't know how I do it, but it's, for me, there's jails for, there's people that need to be in jail. In the very same breath, there's people that don't need to be in jail. There's people that need treatment. There's people that need to talk to people. Like, people don't understand the value of mental health. Like, again, this is my personal opinion. I wouldn't be up here testifying without the treatment, because I don't believe in testimony without treatment. I kind of self-medicate by meditating, and I talk to God a lot. And when I meditate, I give thanks for me being kind. I give thanks for people like Tanya, that I would have never met her if it wouldn't have been for Community Passes Way. And I would have never met you lovely people. And I never would have been able to go back on that side of the water and tell the people about Vashon Island and the community of Vashon Island and how caring, charming, like, you guys are amazing. You all are amazing. And it's crazy because I would see, like, if I see any of you guys in the store, it would be like, that's the right person, they don't like me, I'm different. That's the world mentality. But if I see any of you guys in the store, it's like, how beautiful you are, how lovely you are. Look at your smile, look at your eyes, look at your, it's like, I find light in every single thing. So for me, I would guess the message I would leave today with the people of Vashon Island: continue to give people like people, we are people, to continue to give people like me and Michelle these opportunities. Keep allowing people that's different to share. And so you can understand that we're no different. Our skin color, that's it. I love just like you love. I cry like you cry. I pray like you, hopefully, I pray like you guys pray. Just so to make it clear, I give thanks in my prayer. I don't pray for things to be, I give thanks for it all already. It's already been given. Like, I'm rich, you guys just don't know it yet. I'm very rich. Just, but I will get there. No, but, so I guess my message would be, in closing, to just love each other, love whoever. If you see them, they're not doing well, if you can, just tell them God loves them. Sometimes it's just that little bit of reminder to change a person's spirit. So, for me, to you, thank you. God loves each and every one of you, and you all have a moral responsibility to preserve life and to take care of each other. Please do it.
You doing okay, Ken?
Thanks, Michelle.
Okay, you can breathe now. Well, thank you, Michelle and Ken, for those thoughtful words. We are honored that they'll be staying after the service, you will, for a deeper discussion about what you shared. Let's hold a moment of contemplation and worship, an old English word that means to consider things of worth in a generous and abundant silence. We're now going to pause the recording as we
Follow the drinking gourd, for the old man is waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. The riverbank is a mighty good road. Follow it, the trees show you the way, and it's left foot, back foot, traveling on. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting to carry you to freedom. If you follow the drinking gourd. Now the river ends between two hills. Follow the drinking gourd. There's another river on the other side. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting to carry you to freedom. If you follow the drinking gourd. I thought I heard the old man say, follow the drinking gourd. For the stars in the heaven, they will show you the way. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. If you follow the drinking gourd.
That was lovely. Okay, now we're going to pause the recording as we prepare for joys and concerns. Order service and on the inside cover of the gray hymnal. There is a love holding on. There is a love that we love. There is a love holding on. I rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding on. We rest in this love. We will now resume recording as we finish the service. As members and friends of the Vashon Unitarian Universalists, we commit to supporting our congregation. Financial resources help us pay speakers and staff, support our social justice programs, and maintain our building. Please support VIUU with your pledges and offerings so that we can continue to be a vital community. Our congregation engages beyond our walls for peace, social and economic justice, freedom of belief, and protection of our planet and its inhabitants. Once a month, we contribute the financial offering to a regional, national, or international organization that aligns with our values. This week's offering supports Community Passageways. We've learned today from our speakers the incredible work that this organization is doing and encourage you to give as much as you're able to. As we receive our offering, please join in singing We Give Thanks. And the words are printed on the back of the laminated order of service and are on the inside cover of the gray hymnal.
I feel like giving this a little more energy today.
Okay, yeah, let's do it, let's do it.
And that needs to go up and pitch right when I ever get this right.
Okay.
We give
Thanks for this precious day. gathered here away from time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Give thanks for this precious day. Gathered here far away for the time we share with love and care. We give thanks for this precious day. And our closing reading, Ted?
The closing reading today comes from the Kerner Report, and a lot of you probably don't remember the Kerner Report. That dates back to 1968, but it was a tremendously important report, and I want to read to you some background for it before I actually read the second reading from the Kerner Report. The National Advisory Commission on Civil Disorders, known as the Kerner Commission, after its chair, Governor Otto Kerner, Jr. of Illinois, was an 11-member presidential commission established in July 1967 by President Lyndon B. Johnson to investigate the causes of over 150 riots throughout the country in 1967. That was 150 riots in 1967 alone, and to provide recommendations that would prevent them from reoccurring. The report was released in 1968 after 7 months of investigation. Rather than attributing the rioting to a small group of outsiders or troublemakers, riffraff, as many prior investigations had done, or to radicals, or to a foreign conspiracy, as in almost 3/4 of white Americans believed, the commission concluded that the rioting was a response to decades of pervasive discrimination and segregation. Said the commission, white racism is essentially responsible for the explosive mixture which has been accumulating in our cities since the end of World War II. What white Americans have never fully understood, but what the black can never forget, is that white society is deeply implicated in the ghetto. White institutions created it, white institutions maintain it, and white society condones it. The Commission's 426-page report is regarded as the touchstone for race relations and as one of the 2 seminal works on race in this country. It was also a bestseller, even outsold the Warren Report about the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Now, here is an excerpt from those 426 pages. Just as Lincoln, a century ago, put preservation of the Union above all else, so should we put creation of a true union, a single society, and a single American identity as our major goal. Toward that goal, we propose the following objectives for national action: opening up all opportunities to those who are restricted by racial segregation and discrimination, and eliminating all barriers to their choice of jobs, education, and housing, removing the frustration of powerlessness among the disadvantaged by providing the means to deal with the problems that affect their own lives, and by increasing the capacity of our public and private institutions to respond to those problems. Increasing communication across racial lines to destroy stereotypes, halt polarization, end distrust and hostility, and create common ground for efforts toward common goals of public order and social justice. And that was the end of the reading this morning. And as I finish, what comes to mind is what Ken told us. Give love. That's what solves all those problems. Give love. And what would happen if everybody loved everybody else and greeted them with, "I love you"?
And we'll have Robbie with the chalice, who will extinguish the chalice and do a reading.
This quote is from a man by the name of Jeremy Lent, and he said, "When members of the Native American Blackfoot tribe meet each other, they don't ask, 'How are you?' Instead, they ask, 'How are the connections?'"
Native Australians say, "Where are you going?" And the Nepalis say, "Have you eaten?"
No?
Well, just wait, I think we have some goodies.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Our formal service is now over. I'd like to give a special thanks to Michelle, Ken, Kat, Robbie, Ted, Spencer, Setup Group Number 3, and you all for participating in today's service. And I'd like to give a special thanks to the Social Justice Committee for asking me to preside over this service. It's been absolutely a joy and an honor. Thank you. So we have announcements. We will now continue with VIUU announcements. If anyone has an announcement related to a VIUU activity, please line up to your right, come forward and tell us about it. Anybody? Oh, just come over on this side, doesn't matter, it doesn't matter.
I'm Sylvia, and I'm part of the Mystery and Wonder team, and next Sunday's service is going to be a Buddhist perspective on connection and interdependence. And we're going to have Mark Wells play because Kat couldn't make it. And yeah, so that's it. Come and see it. And Carrie Peterson. Oh yeah, and you have a good luck with your oral surgery. Yeah, it's going to be Carrie Peterson, who's part of the Vipassana group, meditation group on Vashon. So she lives here, and she also does Dharma talks for them. So she's going to come and have one with us. Thank you.
I wanted to remind people that our annual religious retreat this summer is going to be at Seebeck on Hood Canal on August 16th, 17th, and 18th. That's Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you want to attend, please let me know, because some of the rooms are going fast there. But we'd like anyone that can come to please come. we were supposed to have a discussion of bittersweet, how sorrow and longing make us whole. And if we're going to have some more presentations by our visitors, we might wait for a few minutes until they're done, and then we'll have book club in the back room over there. And so that's what we'll be discussing today. And we're kind of running out of time in the year to do the last book we were going to be doing, which was Becoming Mortal, Medicine and What Matters in the End. And one of the phrases that they say is, this book shows how the ultimate goal of aging and death is not to have a good death, but rather a good life all the way to the very end. And it's a good book, and so we'll discuss that at CBEC as one of the presentations there. So if everyone would like to get a copy of the book, then you can bring it to CBEC and we'll discuss it there. But today after the service, we'll be doing Bittersweet by Susan Keene. It's a good book.
Just a reminder that we're going to have a new member welcome in 2 weeks on May 5th. So anyone who has been thinking about whether they want to become a member this year and is ready to make up their mind, please talk to me. We need to get your membership declaration and get you on the list for Victoria's service.
I took this out of hiding because I have rarely find people to talk about Ukraine. I had a wonderful experience there, met a lot of beautiful people. I'm pretty much sure that 25 years ago, many of them don't exist anymore. We know that the towns and the buildings and everything, we see a lot of pictures. So I've just decided today, I don't know if I'm allowed, but the thing is, I want to talk about Ukraine, and I have lots of pictures I found this morning, and if anybody else can spend some time with me, I would really appreciate it, because I've got every other country everybody else is working on, so let's try. You can reach across the miles, oceans, prejudice, and all that other stuff.
Good morning. What a great service. Thank you all. Putting on my treasurer cap and member of the our community. Yeah, so pledge update. As of today, 33 pledge units have generously pledged $79,525. Yes, we can do it. There are some pledges that we're expecting to come in and can put us over 80,000, which is great. And we're going to wrap up the pledge drive, I say, by next Sunday. So if you haven't made a pledge, please do so. I think I'll be making some calls, and friendly calls, right? Don't feel obligated. But yeah, thank you so much for all of your generosity. Get it, babe.
All right.
I just want to say two things about that came to me, just in case you don't know, what Ted talked about in his very beginning about the tremendous racism that happened back in the early 20th century. Fever in the Heartland, great book by Timothy Egan. I can't recommend it more highly. And then about Seder coming up, Jewish Voice for Peace, which anyone can join or go to or whatever. They are having a Seder 4 to 6 by Zoom on Thursday. Yes, so I just wanted to let you know. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for attending. Please grab a drink and treats and then join us in this space for a continued discussion from our speakers, and after that will be our book club.